18 games remain, and the battle is on in the National League East. The Braves and the Phillies have traded the top spot in the division, and over the remaining weeks this month and October, it will all come down to this final stretch. The Braves don't leave the division the rest of the way, as it's all familiar foes here at Turner Field and again on the road. And so, the final push begins tonight. 18 games left, all against the National League East, and all significant in this pennant race. Series 1 begins now as the Braves play host to the Washington Nationals. Chamber of Commerce weather indeed tonight in Atlanta, Georgia. A beautiful night for a Major League ball game as the Braves play host to the Washington Nationals. Yes, 18 games and counting to go as the Braves start play tonight, a game off the division-leading pace. And all year long, Braves baseball on Sports South, presented by our friends at Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff and the low price. And hi again, friends, with Joe Simpson, Chip Carey. It's been a while. Great to be back in the saddle as the Braves enter the home stretch now. And what a divisional race we have. As I mentioned a moment ago, the Phillies still lead the East by one skinny game.
It's going to be a horse race to the very end. The Braves do trail the Phillies by one, and they are one game up on the Giants and 2.5 on the Rockies in the wild card. But there are some very important games coming up. For the Atlanta Braves, they've got these 3 with the Nationals. Then they go on a 3-city road trip that's going to be very difficult, going to New York, Philadelphia, and Washington. The Phillies, meanwhile, have 3 games at Florida. Now, one thing about that is Josh Johnson probably won't pitch in that series. They may shut him down for the rest of the year. That hurts Atlanta if Josh Johnson doesn't pitch against the Phillies. And then the Phillies go home and play these Nationals. There are 6 games left between the two teams, the Phillies and Atlanta, and one of those series begins a week from tonight in Philadelphia.
And while we certainly are going to keep our eyes peeled on what's happening in the East, the Braves also have to pay very close attention to the scoreboard out West, because that race has suddenly become very tight.
It's getting crazy because it's a 3-team race now because of what the Colorado Rockies are doing. And with their big winning streak they just had, they put themselves right in the middle of it. But the Padres, boy, do they have a tough series coming up. 3 games at Colorado. Then they have to go play the Cardinals 4 games in St. Louis. A very difficult track for them. The Giants, they are home. 3 with the Dodgers, 3 oddly enough with the Brewers. The Rockies, 3 against the Padres. Then they go on the road. They're not as good a team on the road as they are at Coors Field, as they have proven recently. So that's going to be interesting to watch, and we got to keep an eye on all 3 of those teams too.
San Diego's lost 13 of its last 17 games, and they are in Colorado with Jeff Francis facing them in Game 1 of their series tonight. So that's one pitching matchup we'll keep an eye on. This is the pitching matchup for this series tonight in Atlanta. Derek Lowe takes the ball for the Braves in Game 1. Jair Jurgens gets the pill in Game 2 of the set. And then Mike Minor, the young lefty, pitches on Wednesday afternoon. Braves and Nationals, more from the ballpark in Atlanta in just a moment. red hot bat for the Braves. Hopefully that will continue as Atlanta matches up with this very pesky Washington ball club. And here's, Joe, the pitching matchups for this series.
And Derek Lowe looking for his first win of the year against Washington. He's 0-3. Hopefully the Braves can beat up on this guy Maya that they've never seen before, Jurgens and Hernandez. Braves know Levon very well. And then two lefties on Wednesday, and that's a business fan special. 12-10 first pitch, John Lannon against Mike Minor. That should be a good one too. But these are three crucial games for Atlanta to try to beat up on the last place Nats.
They are 6-6 against Washington this year. Braves need a big series. They're warming up, so are we. Ready for baseball at Turner Field. Starting lineups, first pitch coming right up. The Nationals have dropped their last 5 games in a row. They have 60 wins and 83 losses. And Jim Riggleman's pesky Nationals club has a beast in the middle of this lineup. Ryan Zimmerman, red hot in his last 11 games, and very productive work against the Braves pitching staff. Derek Lowe has to keep an eye on the Washington third baseman.
You know, Derek Lowe's pretty much been around 500 for most of the year, or a large part of it. 3-4 since the All-Star break, a 4.55 ERA. But that start in Pittsburgh, after he missed a start, I think maybe kind of rejuvenated him a little bit. A great outing against the Pirates in a game the Braves was a must-win. He went 6 innings, gave up only 1 run and no walks. And that kind of follows into our 4 keys to success for him tonight. The rest helped. I think it'll help him again tonight. He's a little, as I said, a little rejuvenated. Left side of the ledger means he is not beaten the Washington Nationals this year. He's 0-3 with a very high ERA. He needs a win tonight, get the Braves going in this series in the right direction. The Braves 19-1-3 in series at home this year. Let's get back on the winning side of that too.
Braves are home, Phillies are on the road. Washington has Danny Espinosa leading off. And Espinosa broke in with a big-time splash for this Washington club. Had 9 hits in his first 16 big league at-bats, including 3 home runs. And they really like this kid. They think he has a chance to be a star and their everyday second baseman starting opening day next year.
Yeah, he's a converted shortstop, former 3rd-round pick out of Long Beach State. You've heard of a few shortstops out of Long Beach State in recent years, I think.
And a line drive into left center field will drop in front of Matt Diaz. So Espinosa breaks out of an 0-for-14 slide and leads off with a clean hit.
Bobby Crosby, Troy Tulowitzki, Evan Longoria, his predecessors as shortstops at Long Beach State. So that's some pretty good lineage for him.
I thought San Pedro de Macorís was the cradle of shortstops.
Yeah.
So a good start for Espinoza. Here's Ian Desmond. Not much doubt about this guy's bat, but big questions about the glove for Ian Desmond. For all those impressive numbers, which should get him some consideration for top rookie honors this year, 32 errors.
He's way too athletic for that to happen, but the Braves have not figured him out at the plate. He has torn the Braves up. 12 for 34, 3 homers.
And quickly, a 2-ball count. Espinoza has yet to try a big league stolen base. And now 2-1.
Seven RBIs mixed in there too.
Oh, what's the old saying? Be strong up the middle. With Kid Ramos behind the plate, Desmond and Espinoza. Nationals are 3/4 of the way there, it would appear.
Good breaking ball there from Derek. Desmond 5 for 8 against him.
And now let's see what Washington does with a full count and nobody out.
It's a rarity, it seems, anymore, Chip, when the Braves do have a clean 1-2-3 first inning.
Runner is going, and that ball lined out of play, foul. We've talked so much about this Braves ball club's ability to come back. Last at bat wins, walk-off wins. Boy, it'd be nice to have a 5-0 lead after 3 or 4 innings and cruise the rest of the way. It hasn't been that way most of this season. Swing and a miss. The throw is in time. What a play by the shortstop, Alex Gonzalez. A strike him out, throw him out, double play. And Alex might have saved an error there.
Good sinker, went right under the bat. Player tried to go under the tag, but Paul Nauert says he got him. Good play by Alex to take the short hop and put the tag on before Espinoza's hand got to the bag. Good call.
So Derek back to the windup and Roger Bernardina. Roger, another native of Curacao.
This guy's an interesting player to me. He's got some power. You see 10 home runs, 43 RBIs. He's played well against Atlanta, 10 for 25. Trying to show Jim Riggleman he's an everyday guy. Whew, thank you very much on that one. As he did in Pittsburgh, Derek working very fast.
and very effectively.
Wow. He'll love that tonight.
A little Curacao wow from Roger Bernardina. Derek Lowe has a couple of strikeouts and a big strike zone with which to work early. Double play got him out of first inning trouble. Now the Braves come up. And a lot of guys in this lineup, Joe, are riding some hit streaks, including Jason Hayward. He's got a 10-gamer going for the Braves, and his average a point shy of 290 for the season all of a sudden.
Well, it'll have to be extended tonight against a guy that no one's ever faced before for Atlanta, and that is Yuneski Maya. 29 years old, 5'11", 170. He defected from Cuba in September of '09. Those are his 5 minor league starts to date, his professional starts. A 1-2 record, 338. That includes Gulf Coast League, A-ball, and some AAA combined. His keys to the game, he is Livan Hernandez-like, but he doesn't throw as hard as Livan. He's going to give you a lot of arm angles tonight, change different arm angles with about every one of his pitches. Does not throw hard. He can get it up to 90, but just don't look for a whole lot if you're a hitter. Be patient to get something good to hit.
Omar Infante leads things off. He's got a 6-game hit streak working. And quickly finds himself down in the count, 0-2. That's the kind of at bat you'd like to see Omar see 7-8 pitches and give the rest of his batting mates a chance to measure up Maya, who made just 5 starts in the minor leagues before coming up to the big leagues with Washington. And in the air to right, Mike Morse makes the play for the first out.
He pitched 6 years in the Cuban Major League, if you will, and had a good record. He was 48-29 with a 2.51 ERA. And again, 29 years old.
Nice cheer for Jason Hayward, who bats with the bases empty. And he's the subject of our Academy Sports and Outdoor Leaderboard tonight.
And his hot streak recently has him among the league leaders. Only Carlos Gonzalez has hit for a higher average since August 21st than Jason.
Well, there is a Cuban connection for the Nationals, and that, of course, is Livan Hernandez. And the interesting thing about Yuneski Maya, who's making his 2nd big league start tonight, he and Livan Hernandez go back a long way. Back when Livan Hernandez was pitching for the Cuban Occidentals, Maya was the team's bat boy. As Hayward, a line drive to right. And Morse hauls that in for the second out. So the comparisons of Livan Hernandez might be a little more apt than just the scouting report.
Well, he certainly works fast, too.
Yeah.
But he referred to it was against the Mets. On the 7th, he went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits and a couple of walks, gave up 4 runs, and lost 4-1.
But he's gotten the first 2 with relative ease, and now takes a look at Martin Prado, and there's the first different arm angle we've seen tonight.
Dropped down a little bit.
Popped up right side. Adam Dunn gives chase and won't have a play.
But you'll be able to see from our center field camera tonight, and you're not going to have to count very high on how many fastballs he throws. In other words, everything's going to be breaking, whether it's slider, curveball, maybe a changeup or 2. Tons and tons of breaking stuff.
Softly to short. And a good throw from Desmond. And Yuniesky Maya has a scoreless first inning under his belt tonight in Atlanta.
Part by your local Ford dealers, by AT by Blimpie, and by Geico.
Second inning tonight at Turner Field. Lovely night for a ball game. And the crowd applauding a lovely young lady celebrating her 100th birthday at the ballpark tonight. And a quick strike for Ryan Zimmerman.
That .301 batting average, career high right now for Ryan Zimmerman. Has 30 RBIs in his last 31 games too. So he is not phoning it in for the last place ball club. He's finishing with a flourish.
He's got a pretty good guy to hit in front of in this lineup, with Adam Dunn waiting next. That's a question mark. Will Dunn be a national next year? Number one, and then number two, how quickly will Bryce Harper move through the system and get to the big leagues? Another strikeout. 3 of them already for Derek Lowe tonight.
And pitching inside, too. Look at McCann's target. Pitch delivered right there. And again, Dan Iasonia, not that there was any argument from Ryan Zimmerman, but Iasonia certainly given the corners tonight.
And here is Dunn.
If there's an area during the recent games for Atlanta that is maybe a little eyebrow raising, Chip, it's the starters ERA. And you can go back to last night's game with Tim Hudson and the Braves being put in a hole against the Cardinals. The last 10 games, the Braves starters record is 2-5 with a 6.28 ERA. That's not them.
And you know how much I like things that raise eyebrows.
Yes, you Macedonians are known for your raised eyebrows.
A ball and 2 strikes.
Big shift on for Dunn here. .174 strikeouts, is that right? Yep, we're done. 174 strikeouts, 69 walks.
You throw it close, it's going to be a strike tonight. That's 4 for Derek Lowe. And 2 out.
It doesn't take a veteran pitcher long to figure out that on that backdoor pitch that he's left, he's going to get the call. And he's done that very well, especially to Bernardina in the first, and that pitch there to Dunn. So that's a pitch he knows he can go to and get a call if he needs it later.
And because of that, Mike Morse is up there hacking away on the first pitch. And he's down a quick strike.
He's hitting for a high average. He's hitting some long balls, but he too is striking out a lot.
But not this time. Derek Lowe makes short work of him, and the Nationals in the second. 4 strikeouts. 3 of them looking for Derek Lowe so far tonight.
And a duo of Cobb and Locke look to slam the door on Akron. Kentucky takes on Akron Saturday 7 Eastern on Fox 4 South.
Brian McCann ready to lead off the Atlanta second. He'll be followed by Derek Lee and a resurgent Nate McLouth. And our Braves broadcast on Sports South, presented in beautiful high definition by H. Gregg. Lind will push that out of play, and McCann will dig back in. Brian with 20 homers, 74 knocked in.
Nationals play a shift on him with Desmond over on the first base side of second. Zimmerman playing shortstop. These guys that you don't know, especially one that's got a lot of games under their belt at whatever level, he's 29 years old. They know how to pitch, and they can really use that off-speed stuff effectively. And if you bite, if you're chasing, if you're overly aggressive, you play right into his hand. And here's our Xfinity X Factor, and it has to do with the Braves' record against National League East foes. They have a winning record against everybody in the division except the Nationals, and they're 6-6 against them, 4-2 here at Turner Field against the Nats.
Derek Lee buzzed inside. Well, this isn't just a one-year thing with Washington. They've played the Braves tough the last couple of seasons. And even when the Braves have won, more often than not, it seems, it's a 1 or a 2-run game.
Yeah, I think 10 of the last 30 games between these two teams has been a 1-run affair. Derek's bat's coming around too. He had a good series against the Cardinals, including his first homer as a Brave.
Hitting .260 with Atlanta, .253 overall. And now in the driver's seat with a 3-1 count. That's a ball outside. 2 are on with nobody out. Back-to-back walks to start the second. And now Nate McLouth, the batter.
Nate last night looked like he had put one over the center field fence were it not for Colby Rasmus's great jump and catch. But then later on did go deep to right.
Well, that's the key. You can't hit it to the center fielder. It's either Cameron Maben or Rasmus, and now a balk. Will chase runners to second and third before Nate even steps to the batter's box.
That's a good thing. 2 runners in scoring position for him. And as you and I talked during the pregame show, Chip, if he gets hot, yeah, there was a move to go into his stretch and stopped. What a great infusion for the offense if he can carry this hot streak right into the end of the season. They've missed production sorely in the outfield from everyone except Jason Hayward.
Loved hearing Jerome's chat with Chipper Jones before the game about how Chipper really enjoys his role right now, being injured and all. Just offering a few tips to guys, and if the tip takes hold. Another balk. Unbelievable. 2 balks in the inning, and the Braves have a 1-0 lead.
Guys in the dugout saw it too. Jim Riggleman's going to go out and try to explain to Maya what he did and maybe settle him down a little bit. There he was again. See his shoulders there was a slight tilt. Watch his shoulders. See that slight turn? Even the most modest of turns like that gives the runners the impression that he's about to go into his stretch, and he didn't. He stopped. If he steps off, it's no problem. So there's a freebie. A walk, 2 walks, 2 balks, 1-0.
And a chance for Nate McLouth to add to the lead now. But again, Chipper offered a tip or two to McLouth, who drives this ball into the right field corner, and it is 2-0. And look at Nate fly around the first base bag. He's got a 7-game hit streak, and it is a 2-0 score.
One of the things he's doing is trying to get his hands started. He'd been starting from just a dead still swing. Now he's starting his hands a little bit, getting a little triggering mechanism going by moving his hands back and trying to keep his weight back. Now this was an off-speed pitch, so he had to kind of reach down and get it. But in the past, that was probably one he either swung and missed at or rolled over the top of because he couldn't keep his weight back. He's having some fun now to try to make up here in the latter stages of the season for what's been a frustrating year for him.
A strike to Alex Gonzalez, who had a very happy Saturday for the Braves against the Cardinals. Popped up out of play and quickly 0-2. Sometimes an extra set of eyes or an extra set of opinions can, I would imagine, slow a player down. But in the case of Nate McLouth, 2 hitting coaches and Chipper Jones helping him get things going here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To right field. And Morse in foul ground makes the catch. Nate will tag and make it to third without a play.
Nicely done by Gonzalez, even though he fell behind 0-2. Hit the ball to right field deep enough to get him over.
That will be key over the final 3 weeks too. Little
Huge.
plays like that.
You bet, Chip. You're right about that. Any of those just little small fundamental things that help a team add a run here and there.
And now the Braves' second biggest Oklahoma fan will stand in. That's Matt Diaz.
Yeah.
And Matty getting a chance to play tonight against a right-handed pitcher. Ordinarily, we've seen Melky Cabrera in the outfield in situations like this, but Melky had a rough time of it against the Cardinals.
Well, maybe if Matt gets a few at bats, gets comfortable against some right-handers the next 2 nights, he'd be ready for Lennon on Wednesday afternoon.
Hot shot, fair ball, right field corner, 3-0. Ball takes a funny hop. Diaz around second. Nationals miss the cutoff man. It's a triple.
Reasons Matt can handle right-handers is that he can do that. He can take a pitch away from him and hit it the other way. That pitch is a little bit off the plate. At best, it was on the corner, and he kept it fair. And there's nothing you like better if you're a base runner rounding first than to see a right fielder go over there to a spot while they're waiting for the ball to come to them. And you're thinking 3 all the way when you see that.
So a 3 spot in the inning. The Braves have just 2 hits. And still only 1 out. Derek Lowe, the batter.
30th RBI of the year for Diaz.
Don't forget, Derek absolutely hit a rocket in Pittsburgh in his first at bat against the Pirates.
On the first pitch he saw.
But took that one for a called strike. Infield in for Washington. And 0-2. We'll keep you updated on the Phillies and the Marlins from South Florida. And the Phillies have scored first on a Jason Worth home run. That one's Andrew Miller and Joe Blanton in the series opener.
Happy for that guy.
Big lollipop breaking ball. What did Vince Scully call that pitch? Is that the soap bubbles?
Yeah, from Padilla.
Yeah. That one floated in at 70 miles an hour. And the first strikeout of the game for Maya. Top of the order now, Omar Infante. He needs 74 plate appearances now to qualify for the batting title. He flied out his first time up.
Team's really favoring right field on Omar now, the way he can go the other way and inside out some balls. More real close to the line and real shallow. Nigel Morgan shading over into right center a little bit.
Into center field. It's 4-0.
So instead he takes it right back up the middle.
Yeah, he can hit it there too, can't he? Double, a triple, a single for Atlanta in the second, and a 4-0 advantage.
Breaking ball, hit it off the end of the bat, but hit it into the right spot. 41 RBIs for him on the year. Stayed with that one, but this all started thanks to 2 walks. Both McCann and Derek Lee being patient, waiting for good pitches to hit, set up the whole inning.
And Hayward hit by a pitch.
That was quite interesting. Big inning, but something that maybe Mr. Maya was getting tired of in terms of the hits that were following the walks.
Now Prado hits.
In case you're wondering, Niger Morgan leads off the next inning for the Nationals.
This is the 30th pitch of the inning.
A welcome sight, though, for the Braves. A 4-run inning at least early in the game to give the starting pitcher some breathing room. And the way Derek Lowe has started, he didn't need a whole lot of runs tonight. That swing right there from Martin is another reason why he's having such a terrific year. He's hitting .315 coming in. But when he gets behind the count, he waits so long on pitches. He rarely gets fooled where he's way out on his front foot or spinning on his heels. Waited so long to fight that pitch off, ready to take it to right field. So they come in on him on the next one because he was just hanging over the plate. But watch how long he waits. Catches that ball way back to fight it off.
And with this very long inning, the Nationals bullpen is beginning to work.
Well, they've got enough bodies. They've got 16 pitchers. Greg Stammen is beginning to loosen up. They've got 8 guys in their pen and 8 guys who could start. Stammen's one of them.
Well, they've used 14 different starters this year. Steve McCatty has had a long summer, made more so with the tragic injury to Steven Strasburg. He's done for the rest of this year and probably most of next. Runners go as the pitch fouled away. And the count remains 3-2.
Yeah, got a piece of Ramos. Oh, got him in the neck. Bounced up under his mask. Says he's okay. Oh my, right in the throat. Got the chest protector first and then rolled right up into the throat.
He doesn't wear that flap that Steve Yeager fashioned either.
He's got a little bit of a drop down on the mask there below the chin, but that wasn't enough that time.
Runners go and the inning is over. Braves send 9 men to the plate. It's September 13th, but for the National starter, it's Stinko de Maya. Rough inning, 4 runs across, and Atlanta leads early here at Turner Field. here in our first with the Washington Nationals. 2 more to follow, including Coca-Cola 2-for-1 Tuesday tomorrow evening. The Braves battling for the National East crown, and you can be here with a free Upper Reserve ticket when you buy an Upper Reserve ticket. Don't forget, Wednesday afternoon is Toyota 2-for-1 Wednesdays. There's a free outfield pavilion ticket available when you buy a second outfield pavilion ticket. Visit us at Braves.com/tickets. Call 800-745-3000. Nyjer Morgan is the batter, and it's been an interesting month for the Nationals outfielder. A couple of suspensions, big fines, the charging of the mound incident with the Florida Marlins.
When is his suspension or his appeals? When are they supposed to be heard?
Well, I talked to Jim Riggleman about that before the game today, and he said they've already heard his appeal of the suspension, and he was hopeful of having an announcement made today. That obviously hasn't happened. He's in the lineup. They might hear something in time for tomorrow's game, as Morgan is the first out. And this was really the second incident for Nyjer Morgan, as he charged Chris Volstad and then got clobbered by Gabby Sanchez.
A lot of money went to the league office on that one.
And that incident began when Morgan ran over the Marlins catcher Brett Hayes and messed up his shoulder on a play that no collision was required.
Well, whether it was or wasn't required, it happened, and the next night he got hit with a pitch as payback, and he was okay with that. What wasn't okay was that, in my opinion, was that the Marlins threw at him again after he stole 2 bases after he'd been hit the first time.
And that's in essence what Jim Riggleman was saying. All right, you threw at him once, but not twice.
Yeah, you hit him once, you got your payback.
Wilson Ramos hits a high fly ball to left. And a step shy of the fence. Matt Diaz hauls it in for the second out.
It's a time of night, too, where you can't take your eye off the baseball to take time to find the wall. So good job by Diaz there to stay with that.
Here's Maya. Pretty good swing. And Maya has his first big league hit.
He was hustling too.
Yeah, he knew. He knew Jason was lurking in right field.
Yeah. There was no doubt in his mind that he needed to run on this one.
So congratulations to Yuneski Maya, his first big league hit. The number 1 hitter and the number 9 hitter was safeties for the Nationals to start. Here's Espinosa, their leadoff man. Baseball America tapped this kid as the Nationals' 5th best prospect in their system.
Also was named the best defensive infielder, wasn't he?
That I don't know. Hard hit ball up the middle. Alex, 360 spin and hits Infante at the second base bag. That's a couple of real nice plays up the middle for the Braves shortstop already tonight. And that ends the Washington threat in inning number 3. Let's take a look at our Blimpie game summary. So far, so very good for the Braves and starter Derek Lowe. And nothing better than to wash down one of those delicious Blimpie subs, a little bit of Gatorade. Reminder for you, go to foxsportssouth.com. Vote for the Braves' top memorable moment that you'd like to see replayed here on Sports South. There's one candidate, Jason Hayward, in his first big league at bat. And the one that summoned goat ropings and rodeos is the second choice.
Crazy thing there. Raw dog. It's not often you see a guy hit a grand slam round first and do a 360 before he goes to second, but he did.
You'll have a chance to vote for those two memorable moments on the Braves Live pregame show here in Atlanta. If you were a voting man, which one would you pick?
I don't know. I'd like to see him.
That's up the middle off Brian McCann's bat. Let's see how that's scored. Washington had the shift on, and Desmond's the man that's had a terrible time with the glove.
That's going to be a boot. He got right in front of that one. Maybe not, though. We'll see. It is. It's a knee.
Wow. 33 of them now for Desmond. Here's Derek Lee. I don't have the big league record book in front of me. What's the record for errors for a shortstop in a single year?
I don't know. We may have to put Laser Baker on that one. I'm going to guess it's not Louis Aparicio.
No. Boy, you've gone far out on that limb tonight, haven't you?
I'm going to cross him off the list.
Did he even make 32 in his life? Fly ball center. Morgan back. And one out.
Another well hit ball by Derek Lee. Wrong part of the ballpark.
Well, Desmond's already blown by the Nationals record for errors in a season by a shortstop. Their previous high was 20. He's got 33 and 3 more weeks left.
Gets in your head too if you've made that many. Sometimes you're trying not to make an error instead of just letting your instincts take over and go get the ball.
That ball's well stroked, but Morgan catches that. McCann at first with 2 outs now for Alex.
Another shot hit by Nate too.
Maya trying to pick up his young shortstop. And pop foul. And Laser Baker has found the answer. In the last 60 years, the most errors by a shortstop in a single season is 51. And that was turned in by Roy Smalley with the Cubs.
Roy Smalley Sr.
And another pop-up. This one into shallow right center, and Morgan makes all 3 putouts, and that retires the side. We've completed 3 at Atlanta, and the Braves have an early lead. Gana. And by the Home Depot. Top 4, and it's a 4-0 Atlanta ball game with Desmond, Bernardina, and Zimmerman coming up for a second time against Derek Lowe. Game 2 of the series here tomorrow. We'll have a special treat. David Ross will be mic'd up.
That'll be fun because he is very witty.
I'm so happy for David for the year he's had, and that he's got another year with the Braves on his contract, a couple years actually. And what a luxury it is for manager, a pitching staff, a pitching coach to have two guys like Brian McCann and David Ross working in tandem with his staff. And a lot of good things to talk about with David tomorrow night, as Livan Hernandez faces Jair Jurgens.
Man.
That's 5 for Derek Lowe.
And 4 looking.
And as the fireworks go off, let's check out our AT Uverse trivia question this evening. That was a milestone strikeout for Derek Lowe, his 1500th.
Fans giving him a standing O here as he wanted to keep that baseball, throws it out. Get back to the trivia question in a second, but you like to acknowledge these milestones. This spot on the plate, back door to the lefties, front door, if you will, to the right-handers, and no argument.
So a chance for 1501 with 2 strikes right here. Don't you love it when they follow the script?
That's the second time Bernardino's been rung up in that same spot and has some choice words for Dan Isonia. Again, I told you earlier today, if Derek Lee knows he's going to get that pitch, he's going to have himself a good night.
Roger, if it was a strike in the first, it's probably going to be a strike in the fourth. And so with the milestones piling up for Derek Lowe, against whom does Derek have the most wins and saves in his major league career? Back up the middle, and Zimmerman aboard with 2 outs. Derek pitched all those years in Boston with the Red Sox, then with the Dodgers, now Atlanta.
Yankees might be a good call then.
Now we know he's a perfect 10-0 against the Pirates. But surely he's got more career wins against someone than just 10. As Adam Dunn, the Washington hitter. And Roger Bernardino saying, how come that's a ball for Adam Dunn, but not me?
You'd like a better look at that one.
Bounce to second, and the return to first. But fellas, you only need 3.
Nice turn, though. Martin just doesn't get a chance to do that too often. Quote of the night, and it's an audio quote from Matt Diaz. We had a little wager on the Oklahoma-Florida State game on Saturday.
Joe Simpson and I made a little bet, and because we're both Bible-fearing men, there was no money involved this time. And he was going to wear a Florida State shirt on the air, but I think he knew as well as I did in the back of my mind that that was never going to happen. So Florida State went out to Oklahoma, and they forgot their football team. And so I don't know who that was playing on Saturday against Oklahoma, but Oklahoma took full advantage. Congratulations, Joe. Yeah.
He was a good sport, and he had to wear the OU shirt in his first interview after the weekend, and I was going to have to wear a Florida State shirt in an open for our broadcast,
right.
And Florida State won.
Right. I mean, you guys mopped the field with Florida State. I mean, Matt should have to wear that shirt the rest of the year, to be honest with you.
I like the way you described that, and you're a professional.
I mean, it wasn't even close, was it?
No. 7-7 there for a minute.
Had you sweating, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Two balls and a strike to Derek Lowe. And no swing. That's Dale Scott, the first base umpire and crew chief tonight. And bases on balls have been a big problem for Yuniesky Maya tonight. That's 3 of them. 2 have already scored. He's added in a couple of balks and a hit batsman.
Carolyn Lowe sitting down behind the screen, getting to celebrate with her husband the 1,500th strikeout tonight.
Nationals change their defensive alignment just a touch now that Infante's up there with a 1-for-2 game. Remember, they had both the left and right side of the infield bunched toward the line, and they had Morgan swung around a little more toward right center.
It's not like Omar wants to get hit by a pitch. He's been hit enough in his career, and certainly doesn't take, you don't have to go back too far to remember getting hit on the hand 2 years ago and it broke his hand. So he's got a lot of armor there on the batting glove, on the wrist, on the elbow. So when they pitch him inside to keep him from diving across the plate and hitting the ball into right field, you're taking a chance that one might skip off some of that armor plating.
A lot of the purists in the game really hate the fact that players wear all that stuff.
I can't imagine wearing all of that and feeling comfortable. But it must be comfortable to wear it or he wouldn't do it.
In the right field corner, Morse gives it a leaping try and runs out of room. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That pesky Philly catcher is having himself quite a second half. Carlos Ruiz has made it 4-0 in favor of the Phillies. Later on, the Padres in Coors Field. Rockies have won 10 straight. And a line drive into left center field. That'll drop. Omar's 2 for 3. Derek Lowe stops at second, and here's Jason Hayward.
Omar Infante has reached base in 40 of the last 41 games, either by hit, walk, or being hit by a pitch. Fights this one off. Remember the at bat before when he went down and got a breaking ball and hit it off the end of the bat to center for the RBI. But this time he just fights one off into left field. But to reach 40 out of 41 games for a leadoff hitter, man, oh man, is that outstanding.
Pitching coach on the way out to talk to Maya. And for me, the best thing about this season that Omar has put together is all these so-called experts who ridiculed, and that's really the only way I think you can put it, ridiculed the selection of Omar Infante to the All-Star team, are going to have to eat a whole big plate of crow at the end of the season, whether he wins the batting title or not. That guy's had an outstanding 2010 season.
I agree with you 100%. We know and we see on a day-to-day basis just what kind of player he is and what he brings to the table for Atlanta. I think the criticism fell on the National League and Charlie Manuel for selecting a so-called utility player, because Omar can play anywhere on the field. We know he's been playing second base for basically the whole second half of the season. But it wasn't so much a criticism, I don't think, of Omar as it was, how can you pick a utility guy when there's all these other position players that are having good years? And I compliment the league for doing so, because there are guys who are valuable to their teams who don't play every day and that are all-star like.
Because the all-star rules are such as they are, you need a player who can play several different positions in case it's a tie game and you run out of pitchers or position players. And we know Omar can play just about every place on the field. As Hayward smashes that one to Dunn, rifles the ball to second for one, and not in time at first.
Nice play by Dunn. .363, not an easy double play to turn. He made a good play, good feed, and good hustle by Maya to get over there and cover on a hard hit ball.
Boy, for a big man, Jason Hayward glides down the baseline, doesn't he?
Might be gliding to second here.
A strike to Prado, who's 0 for 2.
Ramos hasn't caught a lot for the Nationals, but he's 0 for 7 on base stealers.
Ramos came over from the Twins, the Matt Capps deal, and he's got a golden opportunity to sit alongside or squat alongside Pudge Rodriguez and learn the tools of the trade. Washington has that man under contract for next season too. Pudge is probably not going to catch as much as he would like. But if they don't bring Adam Dunn back, maybe Pudge can pick up some at-bats at first base in Washington next season.
Might be a good idea there.
Be nice to pick up Derek Lowe here in the 4th inning. Braves already up 4-zip.
Right off the foot here for Martin, it looked like. We've gotten a little bit of the shin guard. Exmo should be able to tell us. Yeah, I got some of the shin guard.
Little tapper. And a quick flip will retire the side. A walk, a hit, nothing else for Atlanta as we go to the 5th.
Top of the 5th, and check out our Toyota Tundra, hardest working player. And tonight it's Derek Lowe. Check out the location, every pitch. Where is it? Where is it? Again. Same spot. Roger Bernardina. Take a seat. Every one of his strikeouts has been to that corner of the plate. Lefty, righty, doesn't matter. He's got it on a piano wire to that spot. And to Brian McCann tonight, his season high is 7 strikeouts, and he's got 6 already tonight.
So he's racking them up. He's playing sweet music with a 3-hitter working through 4. And the lower portion of the order is coming up.
Hey, he decided to go the other side. Well, now that we got our hardest working player thing in there, he can go to the other side.
Yeah.
We'll probably have something else to hang on him later. Do we have an award for, like, best adjustment mid-game?
We probably could, but it's probably not a good idea. Here's Nigel Morgan.
A couple of the sales guys went, what? We could do that? Huh?
Yeah, heck yeah. Call it a prorated advertising special.
Yeah. Good call. They're throwing hard tonight, too. That sinker at 90.
Well, you know the story. Derek's never been on the disabled list. As that one ate up Derek Lee. And by the time the Braves recover, Morgan's aboard safely. We'll see how that's scored. But you recall, Derek did miss a start. Braves skipped his turn. Let that elbow calm down after an injection, and he's pitched very well since.
Derek was trying to give some ground on this in-between hop, and he's been very good at that short hop backhanded stab. But that ball came up really high. That might be a bad hop single.
Jack Wilkinson with the official scorer's duties tonight, and will await his decision as Ramos is the batter. And it is an infield hit. Morgan with 33 steals, but has been caught 17 times. Know that he'll be moving down 4 runs here. As that one right center field and deep, and a nice running catch by McLeod. You made that point earlier. You lose nothing defensively when Nate McLeod plays, and the way he's swinging the bat, that's a big plus.
And probably saved a run right here with Nigel Morgan at first base. Tell you this, Wilson Ramos, pretty impressive. Deep fly to left that Diaz caught against the fence. And now McLeod with a running catch and a beauty in right center. Ramos was voted the catcher with the most power in the Minnesota organization, and he's making a believer out of me.
But McLeod took away a hit and maybe a run. Now Maya bats with 2 outs. And quickly 0-2. Derek tried to get to 13-12 for the season. And trying to win unbelievably for the first time this year against Washington.
Last pitched against them here on August 19th and got beat 6-2. Went 7 innings, no walks, 6 strikeouts at them. The season numbers against Nats. 6.11 ERA coming in. Brian McCann had his target set up right behind the middle of the plate there, but Derek's ball's moving so well tonight he couldn't hit the target.
And Derek Lowe strikes out the pitcher. That's 8 in the ball game, a new season high for the Braves right-hander. He leads the game 4-0 in the middle of the 5th inning in beautiful Atlanta, GA.
One's in on the discussion.
We got some coaches giving some love tonight. It's getting heated. We're going to Twitter to see how the fans feel about it.
Tune in, log on, and sound off on SECGridironLive.com.
4-0 Atlanta the lead. McCann, Lee, and McLouth coming up against Yuneski Maya. Game 2 of the series here in Atlanta tomorrow night. Jair Jurgens against longtime Braves nemesis Livan Hernandez. And that is our Airtran upcoming road schedule.
Again, the starters scuffling lately in ERA. The last 10 games, starters ERA at 6.28. But Derek Lowe shutting them out on 4 hits tonight.
Brian McCann has walked, has scored, and has reached on an error. And with the shift in effect, it works out perfectly for the Nationals. One away.
Nationals have kept him under wraps a little bit this year. Talking about Brian, just 6 for 35 on the year.
Nice pickup at third by Zimmerman.
It's when it pays to be tall and have long arms. Nice play by Ryan, who still has a very awkward unorthodox throwing motion to first base. He sure throws a lot of submarine loopers over there, but more or less had to there in a 360 spin he made.
Nate's hit the ball hard twice. RBI double and the third run of the night scored by the Braves this evening.
Just a little something to get his swing started. Just a little triggering mechanism just to push his hands back a little bit. Get a little movement in his hands before he goes into his swing, and to move the weight back more predominantly over his back foot.
Rolled to Adam Dunn. And a very easy time for Maya in the fifth inning. We go to the sixth. Still a 4-run Atlanta lead. The right stuff, below price. Good ball game tonight. Derek Lowe has restored some order for those Braves starters. And he's got a 4-run advantage and the top of the order lurking for the Nationals. And it starts with Danny Espinosa.
There's that spot. And has he been sharp tonight? Been to a few 3-ball counts, but he's always gotten an out.
.70 pitches. Derek, as you know, one of the best ground ball artists in the game. He's had barely a handful of those because everything's been via the strikeout. He's whiffed 8 so far. And now it's 9. Good start to the 6th.
Chip, this reminds me of when the Braves would go to L.A. when he first signed with the Dodgers, and you just knew you had a fight on your hands that night. Hard sinker, good slider, good location, and he just seemed to have real fast innings. He worked quick. It just seemed like, okay, it's one of those nights. If you get a couple of hits, okay. That's what he reminds me of tonight. Career high in strikeouts is 11, and he's got 9.
And you used the term movement a couple of innings ago. When he missed with a pitch, can set up right behind the plate, and it darted too far inside to one of the Nationals' right-hand hitters. I think that's a very apt way of describing what's happening. I can't remember this much movement from Derek Lowe ever in a Braves uniform.
His slider, it's the best I've seen his slider. There may be another game he can recall that I don't, but it's especially this year, I've not seen his slider this good.
Double digits.
Our producer Joe Vencius reminds me of that game. First game he pitched in a Braves uniform. We threw the 2-hitter over 8 innings against Philadelphia opening day last year. It was that type of night. This is that type of night. Outstanding.
And here's Bernardino. And if he doesn't swing at a pitch that's on that part of the plate, he ought to sit down the rest of the night.
You got to love Brian McCann going right back there again, too. That last pitch was a beauty. Just a little bit farther away to see if he'd chase it.
Popped up. Shallow left. And Derek Lowe is through 6 innings with 79 pitches. And more importantly, a 4-0 lead.
Down to second base by Brian McCann in the first inning. A strikeout, a throwout, a double play. Paul Nauert with a good call. Great catch there by Alex Gonzalez and applying the tag at the same time before Espinosa could get to the bag. That's the Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light.
And Alex ready to go. And Brian McCann hopes to hit in this 6th inning. That would mean it'd be a big frame for the Braves, already up by a 4-0 score. Atlanta has to take care of its own business tonight. The Marlins aren't helping matters this evening. The Phillies are winning handily as the recoil popped Ramos right in the mask.
And Alex was upset. You can see the way he kind of spun around. He didn't like that. He was apologetic for that on the backlash. Not a thing a hitter can do here. Boy, thankfully it hit the mask. Oh.
Broken bat. Knocked down at second by Espinosa, but no play.
Barrel of the bat wound up out there at shortstop. Fastball right in on him, just shattered the bat, split it right down the middle. Alex has 17 RBIs in his last 24 games. He's been driving in some big runs,
including a game-winning blow against the Cardinals. And now Dia has a one-hopper to short. And the double play combo of the future turns one in for Washington and clears the bags for Derek Lowe. Time for a money and energy saving bright idea from Georgia Power. Look for the Energy Star label when buying new appliances. Go to georgiapower.com for more energy saving tips. Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Have you bought any new appliances lately?
Not that I know of. I've only been away from home 12 hours.
Yeah, okay.
But I have not. Have you?
No, but every time I go appliance shopping, I look for the Energy Star label. Run, Derek. Well, never mind.
Yeah. Easy is what Bobby shouts from the top step of the dugout. Plenty of energy for that star. Derek Lowe tonight. 4-0 his lead. Let's revisit our AT UVerse trivia question tonight. Big night for Derek Lowe, 1,500th strikeout. He's punched out 10 in tonight's game. And against whom did Derek Lowe record the most career wins and saves?
I'm going to stick with the Yankees in the American League East. You want to go different?
I'll go Baltimore.
Okay. Tampa Bay. Schneikes. They have a great promotion here at the ballpark called Stolen Base Challenge, and it is a tough challenge. You've got to run from the right field corner out to second base and get the base. Well, watch Nate. See that base out there behind second? Watch Nate. Nate comes out and goes, let me give you a little hand. He sails the base over there a little closer to the runner so the guy can get to it quicker. I love that.
Looks like Nate majored in Frisbee golf.
Yeah. So this young man didn't have quite as far to go. He wins the challenge, wins countless prizes.
One ball, two strikes.
So Nate McLeod is hot.
Yeah. You think you could complete the challenge in 20 seconds?
Not a chance.
How about Laser Baker?
I think that was a no. definitely be a pulled hammy in there somewhere for me.
No question. He is some kind of hitter. Zimmerman's got 2 hits. And he will try to do something that no National has done in this game, and that's reach second base. And Rock Legends REO Speedwagon are going to be in town October 3rd with a free post-game concert presented by Delta Airlines and Coca-Cola. That's after the final game of the regular season against the Phillies. For tickets, on-field passes, or for your chance to meet the band, visit Braves.com/REO Speedwagon.
I wonder what that REO stands for.
I don't know. There was a car called an REO Speedwagon.
Was there?
Mm-hmm. I think they're from Champaign, Illinois, where the University of Illinois is located. Into the shift. Let's see if the Braves can turn it. Yes, they can. I think Martin Prado really misses the turn at second base, doesn't he?
Yeah, but see, he never got to do that as a shortstop. He used to come across the bag blind to the runner. Now he'd come across as a shortstop and just kind of kick the bag, low bridge the runner, make him get down for a while. Nicely done by Martin.
And that one a 6-5-3 double play. Still no Nationals to second base in the game. And Mike Morse 0 for 2 is the Nationals hitter.
Dave Poole, our audio man with us up here, lets me know that the REO stood for Ransom E. Olds from the Oldsmobile Company. So there you go. Ransom Eli Olds. Thanks, Dave. We got Dave Poole and Dave Baker working on the cars.
Dave Poole, who's obviously into antique cars, tells us that the Speedwagon was a fire truck built by Oldsmobile.
Nice. So that's in keeping with the rock standard, kind of, hair on fire type. Fire wagon. Okay.
Pretty much. And Gretchen Caney, our fine statistician, wonders if a fire wagon has fire water.
Well, it puts out the fire. The water does.
And Derek Lowe has tied his career high. That's his 11th strikeout. Morse thought he tipped it. And that'll send this game to the 7th inning stretch. All Braves tonight. 4-0 your score.
Game, go online to foxsportssouth.com. Lots of good stuff over there. Blogs, interviews, chat it up. All stuff you can only get from us. So get your Braves game here and get more Braves online over there at foxsportssouth.com.
Last of the 7th inning. Couple of changes now for the Washington Nationals. First, let's start on the mound where left-hander Ross Detweiler has taken over for Yuneski Maya. Maya leaves after 6 innings, 4 runs on 5 hits, 3 walks, a strikeout, and 2 balks.
This guy Detweiler's been on the disabled list for quite a while. Willie Harris checks in to play right field, will bat 9th. Detweiler bats 6th in Morse's place. But Detweiler was on the DL and missed 30 games because of a sore hip. He's one of those guys that could be a starter for them if needed. Made 3 starts for the Nationals between late July and early August.
And I shortchanged Maya on one of those strikeouts. My mistake. He had 2, not 1 in the game. But he is on the short end of the decision in this 7th inning. Top of the Braves order. Omar Infante already 2 for 3. Little number. Nice play. 1 down. The last Publix Friday night fireworks show is coming up on October 1st. The Braves take on the Phillies. It's your last chance to see the #1 fireworks show in the Southeast. Get your tickets today by visiting Braves.com/tickets or by calling 800-745-3000. And folks, Billy Wagner was a prophet. He said this race is probably going to go down to the final weekend. Braves have the final 6 games of the regular season here in Atlanta. Starting with the Marlins on September 27th and concluding with that big Phillies series October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So we invite you to join us for the push to the division title. Braves start play tonight 1 game behind the Phillies.
Ross Detweiler was a #1 pick 3 years ago in the '07 draft out of Missouri State University. And quite frankly, his numbers in college don't jump out at you. In fact, in his career in college, he was 11-11, and his last year there he was 4-5. He must have pitched well in the summer league. He pitched in Cape Cod League. He was on a USA summer team in '06 and pitched great there. So against the better competition, the scouts saw him exhibit some pretty good stuff, and he was the 6th overall pick in the draft in '07.
So if he could pan out, if Jordan Zimmerman can come back, if, and it is a big if, with Strasburg, that's 3 pieces of a rotation perhaps. But as we told you earlier, the Washington club with 14 different starting pitchers working at one point this year. They're 12th in the league in ERA, 15th in strikeouts from their pitching staff. Talking with Jim Riggleman about his club, he said the one thing that they don't have is, now that Strasburg's hurt, that one stopper in the middle of their rotation that allows them to either stay on a roll or get off of a bad streak. And they're on one now, losing 5 consecutive games.
Well, the Braves were unable to take advantage of a cold team in the Pirates when they went in there last Monday and lost 2 out of 3, but that was on the road. They come home. Braves are a different club here for whatever reason. Last year the Braves only won 40 games at home. This year they've already won 51.
And that's why conventional wisdom, which usually says, look, just get in the playoffs, doesn't really apply for the Braves. Yes, they want to get in. And while if it's via the wild card, they'll certainly take it. But there's a huge advantage for the Braves to win this division and have the best record.
Absolutely. Just a better team at home would get to start the playoffs at home and have a huge advantage. 10-1 Phillies.
And San Diego has struck first in Colorado. Rockies have won 10 straight games. And Colorado, as we showed you earlier, nipping at our heels in the wild card race, but they have bigger fish to fry. They're thinking about a Western Division title again. What is it about Colorado and September finishes? Colorado strikes out. And that's the first for Detweiler, 2 away.
It's been a strike all night for both sides, and no argument from Martin.
By the way, another big series underway in the American League tonight. That's the Yankees and Tampa Bay. They were separated, I believe, by a half game in that Eastern race.
Yep, half game.
How's this for a series opener? No score in the 7th at Tropicana Field.
Yankees have lost 3 in a row.
A potential first-round playoff matchup for them is Texas, and Texas just swept them. Battle of left-handers. CC Sabathia has given up 1 hit tonight. David Price has given up 2.
What a battle. Well as either one of those guys are pitching, obviously having given up only 1 hit and 2 hits respectively, they neither one pitched any better than Derek Lowe's pitched tonight.
Nope.
Derek's given up 5 hits, but he just dominated these guys so far. Good curveball.
Popped up. And Espinosa behind the second base bag makes the play. And that retires the side. We head to the 8th.
For the Braves, all their runs came in the second inning as they batted around. One of the blows, a double by Nate McLeod down into the right field corner. After one run had been balked in, Nate drove in another with that double. Matt Diaz decided he could do one better as he drives one into the corner for a triple. Omar Infante drives him in with a single to center field. And the Braves had 4 runs on 3 hits, a couple of walks, and a couple of balks factored in too.
And right away, Derek Lowe jumps in front of Niger Morgan. It's a fair ball down the third base line, and Morgan is the first Nationals base runner to reach second base in this game.
I think that hit the bag too. It was that close.
And that'll get the Braves bullpen stirring in this 8th inning.
Got to play in case he tries to bunt. And Morgan just slaps it down the line and clipped the bag.
So Morgan aboard for Ramos. You mentioned this kid's power. He's flied to deep left and deep right center. He hit his first big league home run Wednesday against the Mets.
Pitch. Good fastball. He's lost a little bit on his fastball at this stage. That one was 88, but look at the location. This was a 2-seamer that ran back in on him. A little bit in off the plate. Tied him up. He has been so sharp tonight, Derek Lowe.
Again, for a pitcher who's had so much movement, we haven't really seen Brian McCann have to do much reaching at all to snag the baseball. Now, sometimes Tim Hudson's ball will move all over the place. He has spotted the ball just beautifully tonight. And now has a new career high. That's his 12th strikeout in this game.
Had him set up perfectly too. Tied him up with the swing and a miss. Another one down and in that he pulled foul. Now the slider he threw right at the center of the plate. Broke off the plate. Got him to chase it.
A night of highlights for the Lows. Derek reached the 1,500 strikeout mark earlier. Now a new single game high tonight. Right to Cairo, Georgia. Willie Harris ahead in the count now. 2 balls, no strikes.
Second time this year Derek's gone 8 innings. The last time was June 2nd against the Phillies here. He beat them 2-1. Walked 1, struck out 7 that day. Also threw 119 pitches in that outing, and that's a season high.
In the air to left. And no trouble for the second out. Braves enjoying a 4-run lead. Let's take a look at our notable home runs tonight. That's presented by Airtran.
Cincinnati getting 3 homers from 2 guys, and they're beating Arizona 6-2. Corey Hart's had himself a pretty good second half, hadn't he?
I'll say. And a new contract, too, for Milwaukee. Here's Espinoza. And good stop. 1 ball, no strikes. And while Cincinnati's beating Arizona, the Cardinals continue to struggle against Central Division also-rans. The Cubs are beating them tonight. That's a 4-0 game in the 3rd inning at Busch Stadium. Little tapper. Lee to Lowe. And Derek is through 8 innings with a 6-hit shutout. By McDonald's and by Georgia Power. 4-0 is the score in the bottom of the 8th inning. What a night for Derek Lowe, a career high in strikeouts. Braves got all 4 of their runs in the 2nd inning off Yuneski Maya. Braves cashed in 2 walks, 2 balks, a hit batsman, a double, a triple, and a single. And that's all Derek Lowe has needed tonight. Derek Lee 0 for 2, but has scored a run. He was the 2nd walk in a row in that 2nd inning. Fly ball to center.
Time for our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot. How about Nate McLouth lately? He's hit the jackpot. 9 hits in his last 21 at-bats with 8 RBIs. In his previous 68 at-bats, he only had 6 hits. I'm telling you, this guy's having some fun finally this year, and he's a big part of the offense right now.
That one off his thumbs and out to short. And a close play as Dunn hangs on. And 2 out. Detweiler's pitching impressive relief. That's been something good for Washington last 10 days or so. Nationals relief corps has given up just 3 earned runs now in their last 33 1/3 innings. So if you face Washington, you'd much prefer not being in that bullpen down a run or 2 late. And we head to inning number 9. 3 outs to get for the Braves, who lead it 4-0.
Turned in by Nate McLouth when he was out in center field. A nice running catch off the bat of Wilson Ramos back in the 5th inning. With a runner at first, a drive toward the gap, and Nate tracked it down. Beautiful over the shoulder catch. That's our Toyota Tacoma play of the game.
So that's some timely hitting for Atlanta. More than enough for Derek Lowe. He's out after 8. As Bobby Cox makes an AT&T call to the bullpen, he will bring on Billy Wagner for the 9th inning. And the 2, 3, 4 hitters due for the Nationals.
Not a safe situation for Billy.
Braves have a different look in the outfield now as well. Rick Ankiel on defensively. And shifting from center to left is Nate McLouth. Braves up 4-0 here. Phillies walloping the Marlins 11-1. Philadelphia trying to win for the 11th time in 16 affairs against Washington, or against Florida this year. And Wagner just blew away Desmond, who strikes out for the 4th time in this game.
Well, considering Desmond has been such a tough out for the Braves all year long, they have really handled him tonight. Low 3 times and now Billy once.
Here's Alberto Gonzalez. Braves try to start this series with a flourish. They would love to have a very successful one against Washington. As this is wrapping up a very tough stretch. 20 games in a row for the Braves. At last, we'll get an off day on Thursday and then hit the road for our final road trip of the regular season.
It's just really unusual. I don't remember at this stage of the season having 20 in a row. Unless there was a makeup involved, a rainout of some sort.
But then the oddity of it is the Braves have 3 straight Thursdays off. Have an off day on the road after the Phillies series before we see Washington for the last time, and then before we see Philadelphia for the final weekend.
Well, the Braves are taking care of business tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, they got all their runs in 1 inning and only had 2 hits since then, since that 2nd inning. But they didn't need any more than that for Derek Lowe, and what appears now for Billy Wagner, too, who's sharp as a tack.
And you can tell Billy's been not only watching but observing the game out in the bullpen. He's gone backdoor a lot to these Washington hitters and has thrown nothing but strikes. 7 pitches, all of them in the zone. Until that one.
He's got a nasty slider tonight.
Zimmerman broke his bat.
Fourteen strikeouts for Atlanta pitchers tonight. 12 and a career high for Derek Lowe. The Nationals this year on the road were 0-15-2 in road series until they won a series against the Pirates September 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That's the only road series they've won all year. So a good step here toward keeping that in for Atlanta.
A 15 strikeout masterpiece crafted by Billy Wagner and Derek Lowe tonight. The Braves blank the Nationals by a final score of 4-0. And they indeed are able to hold serve in the Eastern Division race. And a good start to this final part of this Braves homestand. 4-0. That's your final. Back to recap it right after this.